There are so many distributions, there are so many operating systems. Windows and Mac OS aside, there are only Unix like operating systems. And the majority market is held by Linux, most elaborately GNU slash Linux or GNU plus Linux, whatever you want to call them. Basically, all the known by distributions. There are Ubuntu, there are Debian, Red Hat, Alpine, so many Linux distributions are there. Still, people like to do distro hopping. Like today, I am on Arch Linux. Tomorrow, I will go to Ubuntu. The next another day, I have to go to the Pop OS Linux because of those driver issues. Suppose I have purchased a brand new system along with some NVIDIA GPUs. I am sure Ubuntu or Debian would not be a best choice because of those hardware issues. But Alpine seems very efficient on servers, especially if you are having limited hardware issue or if you are having a limited hardware resources. Like you see, this system is having only 3 GB of usable RAM, but it is consuming near about 400 MB. So it was perfectly fine and the most efficient till the date. But someone recommended you must try freebsd. FreeBSD is a direct descendant of the original Unix operating system. So it gave me a goosebump, like what if I can have FreeBSD on my systems and especially on those servers. See, if I can manage this 400 MB into 200 MB, it would be a 50% gain. So overall, if I'm having like 200 servers, the 50% RAM usage is huge if I calculate overall. So today I'm going to invest some time and take a look if replacing my existing Alpine Linux as my server operating system to FreeBSD, if it makes sense economically. For that reason, I think I'll have to first reboot that system and boot into the bootable operating system. I have managed this pen drive with FreeBSD ISO bootable by using Ventoy. So let's reboot that system. Let's fast forward it by the system is shut down. Now let's restart the system. I think the system has started and let me go to the BIOS or UEFI. We are in BIOS. Let's change the boot order. If I change it to external USB 3 S7 exit, that's how I'm going to boot into Ventoy. And this Ventoy is having multiple ISO to boot from. See, this is the FreeBSD 15 version. It is written AMD, but it will also work on Intel. The architecture is AMD 64, so it is boot only. I have chosen this intentionally. That is because it will boot into the installer only. It will not have any package by default. So let's boot. This is the first initial BSD boot screen I got, and this is so much good. As you have seen those logos, BSD logo, this was incredible. It is complaining some kind of PCI errors as this device is like 10 years old device and it is having some hardware issues. I know for sure this system is not capable to install Windows or any other operating systems rather than Gopi OS and Alpine Linux. So I hope it will be able to install FreeBSD. Still, it is spitting out various errors and my hopes are getting lower minute by minute. I think this is some kind of ACPI driver issues. See, this is the main issue when you don't have enough digital freedom, especially those driver related informations. Each and every manufacturer, OEM manufacturer, must release their drivers in open source model so that anyone can implement a good operating system, not only Microsoft. There are more than 1,000 people are capable to create a good operating system. The only hold up reason is the driver implementation. Anyone can argue like there are several Linux driver implementations already there. Why don't you just take those driver implementation into your operating system. Yes, I see the issue is getting over, I think. Let's continue discussing regarding those driver issues. So in short, it is not possible to just simply port those Linux drivers into Minix operating system or any other operating systems, as those drivers are like tightly coupled into the Linux kernel. What do I do now? It seems this system is not capable to install freebsd. So what are the other options I have? Let's take a look if I am having any other option on the pen drive. I need to press the delete key to go to the BIOS itself, and it is already set up, so it should boot into Ventoy. Yes, it is booted on Ventoy. Alpine Linux, I am sure Alpine Linux will boot, but what about Artix Linux? For the sake of test, I will just test if there is a group 2 mode. What if I boot the FreeBSD in group 2 mode? Will it work? There is no group mode. While checksum, there is no group mode boot on the FreeBSD. Let's try Alpine. Let's try Artix Plasma. Artix is my best choice of operating system for my personal reason. That's because of it do not use the freaking system D. That is the main reason why I like this piece of operating system. Channel US, let it be keyboard US from CD ISO. It seems the whole operating system is getting booted into the live environment, so it would be nice to test it out before I install. But I'm pretty much sure like it will not be able to crunch out the whole operating system within 200 or 300 megabyte of RAM, which is my target. Look how cool this looks, and the menu key, which is unfortunately the Windows key, is not working, and control escape for XFCE, that is also not working. I'm not sure what is happening. Let's control alt T and hope for the best. It opens the terminal. Nothing happens. That means it tried to boot into the live environment, but it failed. So what are the other options? Do I take a look into like other things? There is an operating system called Gopi OS, and they have a server edition. What if I try their server edition? Let's take a look if they can provide some better alternative, and if it can fit, let me copy that operating system into the drive itself. Someone messaged me. Sure buddy, today I am looking into server operating systems, especially having very low resources. Like I am having right now more than 100 servers for my projects, and like it would be a much economically beneficiary if I can crunch those RAM and CPU usage. Someone has invited me in. I'm not sure how do I log in to those chat applications. We'll do that in a moment. Before that, let me copy that ISO and put it on the system. So this device will be able to help installing the operating system. So messy my desk is. Messi means not the football player, but my mouse got broken. Let's stick to the plan and try to install that piece of operating system. It will be very efficient on the server. I'm not sure how to install that operating system. This is like new operating system. I didn't heard of, like many people did not heard of that operating system. I'm not sure if you heard of Gopi operating system, especially the server edition, because the server edition came just few days ago. Now the system is off, and let me go to the BIOS, or simply the UEFI. Let me chat with him. What do I call that? BIOS or UEFI? Let me put it this way. External. Is this the external one? Yes, this is the external one. So save and exit. Now I should see Gopi OS 2.4.10 server edition.iso. Let's proceed with the Gopi OS. It is giving me a choice of running this into group 2 mode, but let's try the normal way first. This is the Destro hopping for the best operating system, especially for servers and low resource devices to manage maximum output. Like the RAM usage must be below 300 MB or 400 MB. So let's proceed with that installation. I am literally confused. This installer feels like FreeBSD installer. It is literally giving me a vibe like it is a FreeBSD installer, but it seems pretty much easier. I'm not sure, but I'm like MMC block. This one is having 29 gigabit. Okay, let's proceed with that. Let's proceed. Give the system a name. What should be the name? I'm not sure. Let's proceed with L4. Username must be my username. Password. Okay, let's give a secret password. Strong password. Nothing else. Just okay. Creating partitions, formatting, mounting, and installing base system. How fast it can go? Only 4%. So better skip that. Sometime it is getting skipped, I think. No, 40, 50, 60. Now it is going smoothly. Victory 65G. There is someone trying to chat me and want to have him or myself into their chat room. I'm not sure if the installation seems near to end. It is generating locally. EFI partition setup. No error reported. Generating Pacman keyring and Nix package manager. I see it is using Pacman along with Nix. It's good to have both. Hope it will not collide. As I understand, Nix packages are stored in /nix folder /nix/store. So it will be in a completely isolated space. So any package collision should not happen. What do I do now? Let's remove the bootable drive and let's start the system. I see it's starting. Great to see the operating system is able to load. It is asking for the username. Let's provide the username followed by the super secure password. I see. It has started. Let me see. HTOP is not installed. Pacman is there. Nix, the package manager is there. So technically I should be able to use that. Let's try top. Only 106 MB of RAM use. How it is possible? Let me try Pacman. I'll have to type sudo pacman -syy for the update. Let's proceed with the update. I see it is not connected to any internet. How do I connect to the internet? As it is not connected via wire or the wire driver is not present. So how do I connect? Network manager CLI add Wi-Fi. How do I do that? There is a simple command like nmcli. Yes, the command is present. As I see, if I type nmcli, then it becomes white. That means this nmcli command is there for managing network manager. For managing network manager. Okay, let's proceed with device. device Wi-Fi connect. Your SSID. My SSID is R1. Let's proceed with my and password. Yes, SWORD. Password followed by the password. Let's see if it can connect. Device successfully activated. First ping to g.co. That is the first test. Yes, it is working fine. Now it's time to update the package manager. Yes, now I see core extra, Gopi OS case extra and multi-lib extra. Why it is showing two extras? Gopi extra. That means Gopi extra must have some kind of extra list of packages that only this operating system provides. Like it is AUR or I'm not sure, but AUR, as I know, AUR is a huge repository and anyone can connect to that AUR and have their software installed on their system, but the speed is so slow, pathetically slow. Only few kbps. How would someone they must using some kind of other URLs to manage this one so that my speed becomes much better. or geographically distributed path must be there. I'll have to contact them so that this download and update speed becomes much better. Yes, the update is complete. Let's proceed with sudo pacman s htop. Only 160 KB of it was instantaneous. Now type htop. See, 128 MB or 171 MB. The text size is so small. By the way, this btop must have taken near about 30 MB of RAM space. So if I type some command like nano /tmp/tt.txt, it is working. If I press exit, it is working. That means the system is working pretty much fine. And what about htop? htop is giving me like, so if I must say, it is around 150 MB of RAM using Gopi OS, having Pacman and Nix. Let me try if Nix works fine. Nix, yes, Nix is working. Nix profile, add Nix package hash atop. Would it work? Nix package hash atop. It will work. I think I'll have to put the GitHub link. So any package within Nix package. Let me show my other screen first. Like if I search for number of Nix packages, over 120,000 software packages are available on Nix package. Number of AUR packages 100,000. So Nix package is much bigger, much bigger. What about update? Can I update my system? This system, let me put this over here. I'm not sure how to manage those things efficiently. Sudo pacman -syu. Can it update? The system is already updated. That means this system is capable to update. So here my quest of distro hopping ends. Like I found my best operating system for servers and low-end hardwares, even high-end hardwares. If I'm like willing to port on like some Docker images, I want to run that as a remote server. If this system is capable to run Docker, let me see if this system is capable to run Docker or not. How to install Docker on Pacman? Okay. Sudo pacman -s followed by Docker. Let's see if it can. Yes, it can. Only 40 MB of package to download and it will take around 200 MB. Like I can see only 150 MB RAM is getting used. Let me see how about the space. What are the like disk space are being used? Disk space. How much disk space is getting used? 3.4 GB. How on earth a full-fledged operating system having all those drivers, having all those package managers can fit into 3.4 GB? Seems too good to be true. Is there someone who tried this operating system previously? I'm not sure. Docker also will run perfectly fine. Each and everything. Like if I'm able to install any software and any Docker, can I install Docker Compose? Let me check, like docker-compose. Yes, it is also available, only 7.73 MB. So Docker Compose, each and everything is there. Can it run Podman? Yes, Podman is also available. And it is having twice in core and extra, or I'm not sure. The text is not visible quite enough. Oh, I see. Podman will take around 160 MB to download and 307 MB to install on disk. It seems counterintuitive, as in generally in other operating systems, Podman is much efficient, much smaller binary size, and like it is lighter. In simple words, it is lighter than Docker. But here I found Podman is heavier. Why? It must have included a lot of helper things or other things. Okay. Can it run first fetch? Oh, I forgot. When this was installed, the first thing it came out with this piece of welcome message having like initial summary screen. Operating system is Gopi OS. The host name, I will come back. Like 10 years ago, I used to use this piece of laptop. I was using back then like a Debian or something similar to Debian. Uptime 14 minutes. Shellfish, by default it is using fish. I like fish, it gives so much convenience. And display, it is having two displays as expected. I am recording on the secondary screen. Disk is used 3.37 GB. All seems very nice and good. Let's play with it and continue play with it later on tomorrow. Bye for today.